Hey guys, George here. So I've been playing a lot of Fortnite OG. Fortnite OG is a game mode that just came out about a month and a half, 2 months ago, and it's basically Chapter 1, Season 1, how Fortnite was, originally, like when it first came out. I've been playing a lot of that, I've been having a blast, and I've really wanted to make tier list videos for a long time, so I thought, hey, this is something I'm doing right now. I'm a super opinionated person. I want to make a tier list about all the named locations in Fortnite OG. So let's get into it. Alright guys, now this isn't going to be your standard YouTuber tier list where we just kind of slap things on wherever we want willy-nilly, and, just trying to be funny, just trying to be goofy, get a little goof out of you. I want to actually provide a little bit of insight into why I'm making the decisions I'm making. With that being said, Moisty Myers F tier. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. I feel like we're all in agreement. This place sucks. It sucks big balls, sucks small balls. It sucks all kinds of balls. 90% of it is water. Completely slows your movement, like to a snail's pace. I feel like I'm grandma when I go to this location. And there's only, I think, two chests. Two chests to the entire named location. Other than that, you can find cool things like white ARs at the bases of some trees. Maybe 10 bullets if you're lucky. If you want to be the only person at a named location and not have to worry about enemies, land here. Nobody likes this place. Moisty Mire, first pick. Down in the bottom right corner. It's not around anything. Most likely you're going to be sprinting 10 miles towards somewhere because you're caught in the storm with no loot because you landed at the worst location possible. Now, let's get some obvious ones out of the way. Salty Springs. Most people are going to say Salty Springs is S tier. It's in between A and S for me. It's in between A and S. I don't think it's perfect. I do like that it is a popular area. There's tons of loot. I always like the town settings in Fortnite. We're going to put it in S. It's also a pretty good location. It's near the center of the map. Being near the center of the map kind of boosts it up from an A to an S to me. Central location is very important. Less running you have to do. Running in this game is annoying. I want to run as little as possible. So, Salty Springs, going in S. Another easy one, Pleasant Park. Pleasant Park is also S tier. A little bit lower than Salty Springs for me. A little bit lower. I know I said Salty's in between S and A. I think, really, now that I'm thinking about it, it is a little further away from the center of the map. It is kind of out of the way. We're going to move Pleasant to A. I know, this is crazy. This is crazy. But you know it needs to happen. Pleasant is not close to anything. It's close to Loot Lake. Loot Lake in this chapter. We'll get to it later. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Loot Lake in OG. They made it better later. But we're going to put Pleasant Park at A. Tons of loot. Really good hot drop location. Really good if you want to fight like 20 or 30 people at once. It's not super, super far away from the storm. Not super far away from the center. But Salty Springs is a little bit more centrally located. Got a couple more areas around that you can go to. Also, for reference, I don't really play builds. I played builds in the original season. Since OG has been back out, I have only played OG 0 build. So we're not taking any resources into account here. Any kind of like, oh, this place has metal buildings. I want metal access or whatever. If you want to build, go play Lego Fortnite. All right, let the big boys play their gun game. Okay. Now, I want to propose a crazy offer here. I want to propose a crazy offer. If we can get this video to 10,000 views, 10,000 views, I'm going to make, actually, we'll hold on, 10,000 views and 300 subscribers. I want to hit 300 subs. It's only like 10 more, 15 more. If we can get 10,000 views and I can hit 300 subs from this video, I'm going to make a tier list ranking every single named location that Fortnite has ever had, which is about 200. That's going to be a 2 or 3 hour endeavor. Um, so if you want to torture me and make me have to rank every named location that has ever been in Fortnite, share the video with your friends and subscribe. 10,000 views, 300 subs, and I'll make a tier list of every single named location that Fortnite has ever had. I might hate myself later for that for making this, but we'll see. We'll see if we get there. All right, so I was talking about Loot Lake. Let's do Loot Lake. Later down the line, about 2 chapters after this, when they brought Loot Lake back and they kind of revamped it, I really liked Loot Lake. But you know, if you've got boats or a way to travel on the water, or if you're playing builds, Loot Lake is great because you can just put the flat floors on top of the water and walk across the water. You know, like Jesus or like a Frost Death Knight from World of Warcraft. You can walk across the water. If you play zero build like me, this location's ass. Very similar to Moisty Mire. 90% water, 200% speed reduction. It's awful. I hate it. Makes my knees hurt. I hate walking in the water. I don't want to land on that little island ever again. It's a pain. It's a pain and it sucks and I hate it. The little like dock area by Loot Lake, goated. It's goated. I love it. I love that area. But the actual like island on Loot Lake in OG, I hate. And for that, it's gonna go C. I think this is a fair placement. Again, I don't think too many people will disagree with me here. Again, when they revamp it and they take away the water speed reduction, or at least make it less, I think this is a good location. And if you're playing builds, I would put Loot Lake at probably A. I think that's fair. Zero build, it sucks though. No way to get around the water. Flush Factory. Flush Factory? I really like Flush Factory as a location. But when we factor in where it's located on the map, it's way down here. It's way down here. If you go here, you are 100% having to run 10 miles. I like the location. I like the theme. I like the building. It's got a good amount of loot. But we're going to take away some points here for not being located a little closer to the center of the map. Too much running for me. I don't like running. I don't want to do running simulator. I'm here to, headshot people with my sniper. And that's it. So we're going to put Flush Factory also in C. I don't think it's horrible. It's purely a where is it located kind of thing for me. Lonely Lodge. I got a hot take on Lonely Lodge. I love Lonely Lodge. I think it's awesome. I like landing at the top and hoping for like a blue bolt action, and I can just snipe people from the top of the treehouse. That's what I used to do back in the day. I love Lonely Lodge. Where is it on the map, though? We got another Flush Factory problem. It's way out of the way. I think this is a little bit better than Flush Factory, though. Hear me out. Hear me out. You can go straight from Lonely Lodge to Retail Row. It's not that far. And you can go from Retail to Dusty or Salty. It's got a couple good locations kind of on the path to the center. You still have to run, though. Loot-wise, decent amount of loot, and people don't really tend to land there, so all that loot is yours. Yours for the taking. Lonely Lodge, for me, is going to go B tier. It would be A. It would be A if it was a little bit closer to the center of the map. Love me some Lonely Lodge. Wailing Woods. Wailing Woods for me. I think is going to go D or F. Um, it's got the problem of being far away. There's one tiny little wooden house in the center, and then a bunch of hedges, just like big bushes. Um, Giggity. And there's like 2 chests in the entire place, sometimes 3 if you're lucky. And then it's got the that classic Moisty Meyer problem of you're running around looking and all you find is a gray AR. So no loot here whatsoever. Redeeming quality is it's pretty close to Tomato Town. Um, it's very close to Tomato Town. So you're still going to be running a lot to kind of get to the center of the map, but there's kind of some pit stops you can make on the way to make that run a little bit more bearable. Because of that, we're going to go D. Not as bad as Moisty Mire, nowhere near as bad as Moisty Mire. Far away, not a lot of loot. D tier, I think, is fair. Wow, we're pretty even on the tier list here. Not doing this on purpose. Let's hit up some other obvious ones. Anarchy Acres, S tier. Shoot me, S tier. Same thing with Fatal Fields. Fatal Fields, Anarchy Acres, I have no problem putting both of these in S tier. I think you could argue that Anarchy should go A because of its positioning on the map. It is pretty far from the center, but you do have the redeeming qualities of Tomato Town and other kind of points of interest on your way to the center, so it makes the run a little bit more bearable. I don't know about you guys. I've always loved farm locations in Fortnite. It's something about it. I love that you can hide in the hay, hide in the cornfields. There's always a ton of loot. I think it's fun to like play around as well. You have 20 people land there, and you're just like fighting open fields with like little barns and sheds and stuff. I think it's really fun to like have gunfights, have firefights at the farm locations. Good loot, good fights, always. Fatal Fields and Anarchy Acres, both going S tier for me. I'm dropping these locations almost every time. Dusty Depot. Dusty Depot might be a little bit controversial. I keep talking about where is it located on the map? Where is this located on the map? Because it is really important, especially in OG where there's no cars, there's not any movement items really, right? So you're just doing so much running. I want to not run. I want to load in, get a good gun, get a 20-piece chicken nugget, and get a victory royale. So Dusty Depot, located in the center of the map, that's pretty good. That's some positive points. But there's 2 or 3 chests in the whole place. There's like no loot here at all. So I think it's a good pit stop. It's like if you've ever been to Florida with your family and you're from like higher up on the East Coast or something in like the Carolinas or kind of in my area around Kentucky or Ohio. Yeah, everybody around here has a memory of driving to Florida with their family, and then it's like 2 a.m. and you pit stop at like some random small town off the highway. It's like that. Dusty Depot is like the random small town off the highway. It's in between the places that you want to be at, right? You want to be home. You want to be at your vacation destination. You don't want to be at the little town, the rinky-dink town that has the tiniest diner in the world and a gas station and a population of 50 people. It's like a pit stop, right? It's a pit stop on the way to where you're trying to go. And I respect it for that. I do. It's got its uses. It's center of the map. But again, there's no loot here. So I'm going to say B tier. I think B tier is fair because of the amount of loot. If it had a little bit more loot, it would be A tier for sure. Greasy Grove. Big fan of Greasy Grove. Let's pull it up here. Greasy Grove is a little further away from the center. And it also doesn't have a lot around it at all. It's kind of like a barren wasteland, and then you've got Greasy Grove. Little similar to Dusty Depot in that way. It's not a pit stop because it's way out of the way, but it's kind of like the that little town. It's that little McDonald's arches over the mountain, right? Where you've got one motel, one fast food joint. That's Greasy Grove, and it's just in the middle of nowhere. But some games I don't want to fight as soon as I drop. You know what I mean? Some games I want to take it a little slower. And I appreciate it for that. I appreciate the slowness. I appreciate that I can land here and not have 10 people trying to down me with white pistols and pickaxes. And you know, for that, Greasy's going to get a B as well. Good location. I like the name. I like the theming. It's got a decent amount of loot for its size. It's way out of the way though. Retail Row's kind of in a similar position here. It's a little bit more centrally located. I like that it's by Salty Springs. I like that it's got all these other little small towns and small kind of unnamed locations nearby. So it's kind of like just like a mini shopping area, right? Retail Row. That's what the name implies. I like it. Aesthetically, I really like it. Location, I really like it. Retail Row's going to get an A. Our last location is Tomato Town. Now, before we rank Tomato Town here, 10,000 views on this video, 300 subs, and I will rank every single Fortnite location. Every single named Fortnite location. We're not doing thousands here. We're not doing thousands, but I will tier list 200 if I have to. 10,000 views, 300 subs. If we get there, I'll make it. We'll do it. I'm not looking forward to this, if you can't tell. All right, Tomato Town. Tomato Town is our last location on the OG map. Little bit more centrally located. I appreciate Tomato Town. I like the theming of it. I like the name. It's a little bit off the beaten path, but it's really good on the trek from you land Anarchy Acres, right? Or you land Wailing Woods or Lonely Lodge, and you're trying to come in from the circle. It's always got those clutch healing supplies. It's always got the med kits every single time. I don't know why it happens like this. I'll go Anarchy, I'll get stuck in the storm or something because I was fighting people so long, or whatever happens. Like, we all just land Anarchy, firefights out the wad, I kill everybody, but I'm leaving this place with 10 health and I got the storm coming. Always go Tomato Town. There's always a med kit ready there for me. I don't know why it works out like that, but I love it for that. It's like my little med station. It's like my little pit stop on the way when I'm coming in from the zone, crippled. You know, on my last 10 HP here. And for that, it's, you know, it's not a good, I don't think it's a good drop though. I've never liked it as like a direct drop. What I like is that you can drop somewhere else and it's kind of like always conveniently located. Just to pick up some extra supplies. I'm going to put a B. I think B is fair. All right, guys, this is my final tier list. Let me know what you think down below. Let me know if you think I'm a dumb wiener pants for one of these placements. Let me know where you would put what you would put in your S tier. Salty Springs, Anarchy Acres, Fatal Fields. I love the little town and I love the farms. I think they're the best locations to fight at. I think a lot of people agree with me there. So let me know what you would put in S tier, and we'll see. We'll see if we can get this video there or not, so that I have to make a 2-hour tier list. Anyways, other tier lists are on the way. I hope you enjoyed this one. Any tier list suggestions?